Klopp's Kop catastrophe continues and Brighton blast past boss Potter's Blues, while in Madrid Real are left reeling as recent results reduces their lead, while Union Berlin belay belief as their battle to best paying continues. All this and more on the Absolute Football Podcast. Are you going to love it? And hello, good morrow, one and all, and thank you for joining us today at the Absolute Football Podcast, where we are live on YouTube and Twitch, and then you can catch us on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, all the good stuff, and of course, the Sports Social Podcast Network, of which we are proud members. But it is not just me on this fine day. Somebody enjoying a very fine day by the looks of it is Lucas.
I'm not in Bali, okay? I can guarantee you. I'm in London, but I'm having a great day.
Sensational. Are you looking forward to the podcast this evening?
Absolutely.
Fantastic. And Charlotte's here as well. She's always here, Charlotte.
Always.
We're so lucky. We're just so lucky. And how are you today, Charlotte?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
Oh, I'm just going to leave me for now. We won't not going to talk about me for a little bit. We're going to make this all about you guys today. This is
no. You're the star of the show today.
Really?
Well, are you looking forward to today's podcast, Char?
Absolutely.
Oh, sensational. And you know what? It's already started. Rusty Shackleton.
Rusty Shackleton.
Shackleton. The shackles. But for all of our audio listeners, we are live on YouTube and Twitch. You can join us and be part of the conversation. We've also got our football fan wishing us all happy Halloween, which is lovely because it is Halloween, which is quite apt for how I think this will go for me today. And we've also got Nathan. He's on the way. He's on the way host. He's going to be joining us very soon, which will be fantastic. But for those of you who are here, thank you very much for joining us on this joyous occasion for some. And the joyous occasion for one would be Mr. Lucas, as he can tell us all about Arsenal's destruction, the demolition.
Arsenal. Oh, yes.
Yes, not Spurs, not Spurs. We'll talk about your mighty Spurs later. But there's Arsenal 5, Nottingham Forest 0. How did that make you feel?
Very, very happy. I was very, very pleased with that. I think we haven't been playing well. We're obviously top of the league, but we haven't been playing well in like the last week, I'd say. If anyone's seen us from the Leeds game, let's be honest, we deserve to lose that game. We obviously lost to PSV and we drew with Southampton. So we were starting to look a bit shaky. So we needed a win and we needed a big win. So 5-0 is pretty much exactly what the doctor ordered, to be honest. But for context, Nottingham Forest are put out a tweet saying they're doing Derby 08-09 as Halloween this year because of how bad they are. They're 2 points off that shocking record in 08-09. They're bad. They're really bad.
No, I thought they were really good, Forest.
They're really bad.
They've got a result in them somewhere now and again.
They gave their manager a new contract, didn't they? But while they were in the relegation zone, like what? So you signed 330 players this window, and you also gave your manager, you rewarded being in relegation. Here you go. Here's a new contract, which means we're going. I can't even remember 08 Derby because I remember just not watching any of their games and turning off them when they came on a match of the day because of how bad they were. But Forest are, I think we can safely say they're probably going down. But yeah, good victory, 5-0, exactly what we needed. We've got 2 tricky fixtures coming up, especially Chelsea away on Sunday. So. Keep the pressure on City, to be honest.
I mean, there was some good and bad news for you in that game, though. It's obviously Saka picking up injury, although I think it's not meant to be as bad as originally anticipated. Is that right?
Yeah, I think when players walk off, he kind of always assume that's not too bad. So like he walked off, he looked all right. He didn't look like he was in too much pain. I think it was just to keep him safe. And Reece Nelson was there to come on. So considering it was Forest, I'm happy with that. Just rest them.
I was going to say, I mean, because it was Reece Nelson really come on and he had a game, didn't he? He really came on and had a game. And he's only, he's still 21?
Yeah, he's still young. I'm happy for him because he's been at the club for ages as a youth, and he's been out on loan a few times. He's done all right on his loans, but he can't usually stay fit. And then whenever he comes back to Arsenal, he just never really gets a chance. he gets a few like Europa League games and then a few like 5-10 minute cameos, but he's never had a consistent run in and around the first team. So I think it was good to see.
No, and Stinky Belinky in the chat, he thinks something's missing. Something's missing.
So I basically have to have Marcus Rashford as my background for a week, but that was on my channel, Stinky, not elsewhere. People already think I'm a Spurs fan. I don't need them thinking I'm a Man U fan now. It's just going to go around each one. But yes, it will return. But no, good win. Good win.
I must be telling us in the chat. He thought Henderson said he was better than De Gea, which wouldn't surprise me with Henderson's. He's got a lot of attitude
about the. Well, to be fair, a better goalkeeper probably saves a couple, but all of our goals were pretty clinical finishes. So yeah, good result. But we've got to go and get a result against Chelsea and Wolves away. I'm still not convinced. I mean, Forest are the worst team we've played this season, and we played them at home. So let's be honest, 3 points was always going to happen. So yeah, Zurich on Thursday. Yeah, I mean, imagine losing to Nottingham Forest. Like, how bad must you be to lose to that team?
I know, losing to relegation fodder. But Charlotte, I mean, I don't know if you caught any of that Arsenal game, but how did that beautiful game of football make you feel?
Yeah, obviously Arsenal play some good stuff. I think it's really good that they've not just got like one goal scorer. There seems to be goals from everywhere, a lot of contributions from different players. But as Lucas said as well, like I mentioned as well last week when I laughed at you, it is Nottingham Forest, isn't it? And
all the shit I'm getting.
As much as obviously they have signed all of these players, I just don't see them going anywhere but being relegated. But a win's a win. Obviously, you've got to win every game you play, whether it's near the top teams or bottom teams. And Arsenal seem to be doing really well at the minute. And I've just got a feeling they'll get a result against Chelsea as well. At the minute, there's just something about Chelsea. I've said it from the start. I just find them really inconsistent.
Yeah, they are indeed. I mean, and in the chat, we've got Stinky saying, I'm assuming he's talking about Rashford here. You should honour him. He scored a goal, give him the West Ham win.
I don't think I can now.
he needs it, and I'm getting a little bit of support. That's right, it's underdog.
No football fan, no support, support.
Underdog and Solaris. Good evening. We're enjoying. Has he managed a game yet?
I don't think he was on the touchline on. I hope not.
He was, because in the next game, as we will come on to, was Newcastle 4, a stunning Newcastle 4, Villa 0. Shah catching that game. How did that one make you feel?
Honestly, I couldn't see anything but a Newcastle victory anyway, but I just think, and I mentioned it last week, they're just playing some really, really good stuff, Newcastle, and I think now, obviously, Wilson's fit, Almiron, Joe Linton obviously getting on the goal sheet as well, which I just find crazy. But yeah, they're doing well. Obviously, Aston Villa are struggling. New manager obviously coming in as well. But Newcastle, they're doing really well. And I think I saw a stat as well saying that I think they've got the best. I don't think they've conceded as many goals as everyone else. I think Nick Pope's only conceded. Is it?
They might have the joint most clean sheets, I think.
Yeah.
Or joint most fewest conceded, not clean sheets.
I think they've conceded 10 goals, and I think that is less than every other team. It is less than.
Nick Pope's kept 6 clean sheets as well, and it's the second time. It's the second time as well this season they've won by 4 goals. So they're scoring a lot of goals, Newcastle, and to say that, obviously, and I've mentioned it a few times, to say that they haven't really recruited a lot with the money, obviously they have got. I think Eddie Howe's done wonders, and just like the atmosphere as a whole, and just how he's got them playing, and yeah, can't fault them at all. They're doing really, really well.
It is some super sexy football, and in honor of Lucas, Rusty is telling us Almiron scores bangers only. I mean, Lucas's favorite player. I mean, it's like every player that you slate does well.
So you know what happened? I'm actually gonna start clipping these together and just put together a compilation at the end of the season, because during the Arsenal game, I was literally saying, I was like, we need to rotate Saka and Martinelli because they look tired. And then lo and behold, Saka assists Martinelli literally within 20 seconds later. It's a curse. I might actually be. I might need to start just putting money on this. Anytime I say it, I don't just go, I should put money on that.
Oh, I'm gonna put a bet on Mason Mount to score then.
No, Mason Mount's a great player. Should be winning the Ballon d'Or. He's amazing.
That doesn't at all look like a Vodent. And Solaris in the chat, he thinks
it's true.
AI androids, they were placing Kepa Shack. I know it's right. It is. And
all those things
Musty
from
wanted
Blade
to
Runner.
say Sancho. say Sancho because Sancho is bad.
Sancho's a worldie. He's great.
Do you know what? I picked up a stat last week, which I didn't get to use in last week's pod. I forgot all about it. But when I was looking at his creative plays, in regards to his statistics on creative plays, Sancho is actually on 78th, joint with Sean Longstaff. So his creative plays are well lacking at the moment. I mean, but they're sitting really high at the moment. I think they're in fourth position, Newcastle.
Yeah, we should all be a bit worried here because I said at the beginning of the season, if they have a good year, they can definitely get in a Europa League spot. They can definitely get top 6. I think everyone was like, that wouldn't be a shock. Mm-hmm. If they get top 4, we are screwed, people, because that is years ahead of the project, which means they can go and spend. We have to just look at what they do in January. If they're around there in January, they'll probably spend money to get them over the line. If they're still competing for a top 4 spot by Jan, then we're all in trouble. Because Man City 2.0 is here 3 years earlier than anticipated.
I mean, they've got a game in hand on Man City, but it's only 5 points behind. I mean, that'll move up to 8, but that's not a lot. And considering they could have spent another 100 million. I think it was something like that, but another 100 million, 50 million. And they still would have been fine of FFP. So it is a little bit nerve-wracking, especially
they're going to replace another team that shall not be named at this rate in the top 6.
It's not very nice. It's not very nice.
They look good, though. They look good. But I mean, let's be honest. If Callum Wilson gets injured and Ishak's get injured, what are they as threatening in terms of goals scored? Because Almiron's having a patch now, but he's not going to continue. We've all seen him for the years he's been here. He's on good form, and obviously that Grealish comment. And
I was going to say that's down to Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish
opened his mouth.
Yeah, Jack Grealish is getting all the credit. Why is Jack Grealish getting all the credit for Almiron? Where's my credit? I said it first. I said he was crap before Grealish. So
this is true.
It won't last. And Wilson is a sick note, so I don't know if it will last. I don't think top 4 this season. No.
Yeah, I'm just surprised though. Defensively solid they've been. I mean, who have they played from the big teams? I think teams. They played Man United.
We drew against Manchester City as well. They played really well against City.
Have they played Chelsea?
I don't think they have.
They haven't played us or Chelsea, and they haven't. And they played. And they destroyed Spurs.
They beat Spurs. I think they drew with Man United.
They half the top 6.
Yeah, they drew 3-3 with City.
Wow. So who have they actually lost to? They've only lost 1 game, right? Or 2 games?
They lost to Liverpool. we'll cling to something.
Oh yes. Oh, that was the last minute Firmino goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll cling on to that. And I think that there's a lot of draws. I mean, there's more draws in there than there should be.
But that was before Ishak got going, and then Wilson came back. Now Wilson's back in fire. Yeah. They're way more fluid going forward.
He is a player. Is Wilson. I quite like him. Yeah, well, you know who your manager is, so that's
it's not going to happen, is it?
He's not one of his buddies, so he's only allowed to have his buddies there. But moving on to another beautiful result was Brighton 4. Chelsea 1, Brighton 4. Chelsea 1, Lucas. How did that one make you feel as a Londoner?
That was the first game I watched of the weekend. I caught a little bit of Leicester City, but then I watched the first half of Brighton Chelsea. I couldn't believe what I was watching because I thought Chelsea would nab this. I thought Brighton. I was speaking to Chelsea fans, and this is the first time of all season that Chelsea fans are genuinely quite worried because if Brighton, let's say Brighton continue this form and actually play well. Does it make Graham Potter look like, does it make us all go, well, hold on a minute. Maybe he wasn't that good of a manager. Because if this guy's come in and he's got them playing just as well, if not better, and, beating Chelsea 4-1 is a big result. But yeah, it's probably just a one-off, to be honest. But that's quite embarrassing for Graham Potter. You can't go and lose to your ex like that. So unlucky. But Brian smashed them. That Trossard guy, bloody hell.
That's the thing, that it's not like they were lucky. They outplayed. I mean, on the XG, they were ahead of them on our pre-shot XG to 1.9 to 1.3. So they did deserve the win. And what I noticed the most was last week, everyone praising Potter for his tactical changes that he made mid-game. But this week, he was just exposed entirely tactically as Brighton focused all they played on that left-hand side. Yep. And just give them a battering. I mean, and Charlotte, as a Potter fan, Graham, not Harry, how did this game make you feel?
To be fair, I can't even speak again. I thought Brighton would have a point to prove, obviously, against Real manager, but I didn't expect that. And for Chelsea to score 2 own goals as well. I know we said we didn't think Chelsea had a goal scorer, but then for 2 of their players to score 2 own goals, it's like, wow. But yeah, Brighton played some really good stuff, but I like Graham Potter, and I've said it time and time again. I just find Chelsea very inconsistent. I really do. And I honestly do not. I don't know if they will get top 4. I said it last week. I think Manchester United will. I really don't think Chelsea will. I think they'll struggle.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
This is becoming a horrible season. And Solar is saying in the chat that the Kepa bot malfunctioned. And
their whole defense malfunctioned.
They did. I mean, they were taken apart by Brighton. But I mean, your man, another one of your players, Lucas Kai Havertz, scoring the only goal for Chelsea. I mean,
what is Potter supposed to do? To be fair, with a front 3 of Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, and Raheem Sterling. Good Lord,
true. That is true. I do agree. I do agree. Obviously, I stick up for Mason Mount, but when you are trying to compete for Champions League football, I don't think he does offer enough. I really am a Mason Mount fan, but it just doesn't offer enough for going forward, and he doesn't create enough chances. Yeah. So
he is Bruno. He is the English Bruno.
Yeah,
they're the same player.
Yeah,
they'll get you a few goals, but they offer nothing else attacking wise. They can't pass. Like Mason Mount, I was watching it, and they were 1-0 down, and there was a 3v1 where it was Mount in the hole, and he had Pulisic on the right, and Havertz on the left. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Straight afterwards. And I was literally like, oh, that's a goal. Because all he had to do was they completely destroyed him on Match of the Day about it as well. But all he had to do was a 5-yard pass in front, and he hits it to the corner flag.
Yeah.
And like completely destroyed. And I was like, that is a guaranteed goal, 3v1. And he can't do the basics. He does that the whole time. He can't do the basic, and which is why Chelsea fans get frustrated with him, because he's not a 10. And it's the same with Bruno. Bruno can't do those basic little passes. Like, just pass it to the striker. Just give it to feet. The perfect weighting is just completely off. So yeah, Chelsea's attack stinks. Good. I hope it continues. Long may it continue. My prediction's still on. Remember, 8th. Okay, remember.
I'm happy for Chelsea to be underperforming. That just works fine. But you know, I just hope Mason Mount doesn't clip that bit, because I thought Charlotte was inviting him on for one.
I do love you, Mason, if you watch him, but
oh shit,
just create
great
a bit
player.
more.
Yeah, we really rate you, just not as a footballer, just as a bloke. I'm sure you're great.
You're a nice guy.
Yeah, well done on life for that. But
guarantee he'll be starting in Qatar, obviously, in the 10 probably, because he's so creative.
Well, it's a creative formation that he likes to play. But moving on to the next game, then we have Bournemouth 2 and Lucas's team Spurs 3. I mean, we can all have a bite of that. I mean, I took a look at the XG on that, and I think Spurs actually battered them on the XG. It was Bournemouth had 0.5 and Spurs had 2, so it was legitimately a good victory. So they should have done it. I mean, defensively, all the stats were the same, but on the XG, post-shot XG, Spurs all the way. For the Conte team to be dominating somebody in attack, that's a little bit of something. I mean, Shah, how did that game make you feel?
Obviously watching and stuff, I felt quite sorry for Bournemouth, because I think I did hope they get something out of it, but I just find Spurs very much like Chelsea. I just don't know what's going on with them, and some of the players as well, like Son. What is happening to Son?
Do you know, I saw a really funny story about Son. in one of the tweets from like the Anfield Times or something. Songheung Min decided he wants to leave and he'd be interested in moving to Liverpool if Spurs don't qualify for the Champions League. I thought that's very presumptuous.
Better chance at the moment, yeah.
But I know what you mean. He's just last season he was on fire, wasn't he?
Do you think it's because of a World Cup?
I think a few players are definitely affected by that. But I don't know. I think maybe they don't like the football. He's not he's an attacking player, isn't he? He's very attacking. Like he doesn't like to come back and defend. And I think it works with Harry Kane because that's Harry Kane's game. He drops deep, he presses. Son can press, but you can tell he's just he'd rather not be doing that. And their football's just it's just horrible. I don't know what Conte's trying to do, but I mean, if they get these kind of results all season and they get into the Champions League and he gets some more money to spend, it's kind of working, isn't it? Maybe he's looking at it and just trying to do the Simeone over here, where he's just played horriblest football and just nick one goal and things like that. But it's not sustainable in the Premier League. There's no way. There's no way they can do this all season. Like Bournemouth would put 2-0 up against them. Bournemouth.
Yeah.
They did. They pulled it all back, and I think Conte, if he wins a cup at Spurs, can you imagine that?
Season.
I mean, he would genuinely be rated so highly as Spurs managers of the last couple of decades. I mean, what would you Arsenal fans sing to him then? I'd have to find Arsenal fan and ask him. What would they sing to you?
Depends what it is, though. They get a Carabao Cup, it's a success for them, but.
That was a low blow.
It's good that
took me a while to register.
He'll get you back. He'll get you back.
Exactly. Yeah, look what's next. Look what's next on the agenda, Josh.
Yeah, this is counter-attacking. This is counter-attacking.
Team out on loan. Who's out on loan? And Dombele. Who else?
Where's Tanganga? Is he still there?
Oh shit! Yeah, he's out on loan.
I quite like Tanganga. He was.
I don't know if they're like top players though. He's all right. You remember his debut against you? That's why.
Yeah, he was strong and powerful. Strong and powerful, I thought, and I liked him on that Amazon documentary as well. He was that was very entertaining. I got to be. I mean, I'm just delaying the inevitable at this point. I'm trying to find more things to talk about before we move on to the next game.
We're flying through it.
Yep. Spurs, terrible football. Bournemouth should have won. Next.
I know. We're normally like, I'm clock watching, thinking, yeah, we're all right. Just normally 22. We're normally a good 40 minutes in before we get in there. So I thought I was going to vamp a little bit before we move on. But we'll have to do it. And it was a coupon buster, I imagine, for a lot of people this weekend.
Yep.
Or not, given recent form. Liverpool 1, Leeds 2. I'm sure I'm reading that. I'm reading that right, aren't I? That is
Anfield.
I mean,
the Anfield home form thing is buried. It's dead in the water
games. Now. I mean, look, watching that game. I mean, it must have made everybody very sad. But how did it make you feel?
Oh no, I'm loving it. I can't stand Liverpool at the moment. I used to like Liverpool a lot, and then started competing and winning leagues and Champions League, and your fans started giving us shit. And I was like, okay. One day it will turn around because Klopp's overachieving. It's not going to last forever. And lo and behold, look what's going on. Yeah, you lot are in trouble. You're in long-term trouble. I think in that your squad's aging. If it was a young team, you could kind of say, oh, a few of them. If you had owners who spend money, you could say, well, you'll go and buy players. And it's like, you're not going to buy players. You haven't got a crop of academy players or young players coming through that you've bought. You know, you can count them on one hand, and most of them aren't, I'd say elite talents outside of probably Carvalho. I think a difficult conversation needs to happen.
It's not nice, is it? I mean, Charlotte, before we get into any sort of nitty gritty, how did it make you feel? I mean, you're laughing already. You haven't even answered the question, you cow.
Do you know what? This prediction league that we're doing on here, I'm just going to keep backing Liverpool because every time I back them to win, they lose because I'm so bad at it. But I was really shocked. I was actually at a concert on Saturday, so I didn't see the result until we came out. And it was me and my sister. She's a big, massive Manchester United fan as well. So we was in the car checking, and I was like, what? I was just like, what? So,
So you thought it was funny, did you? You were just laughing.
I did laugh. I will admit that. I get no pleasure. I'm a Rochdale fan. I get no pleasure from my own team, so I have to laugh at everyone else's.
I mean, but just in the chat, we got Rusty Shackelford. He'd pay money to watch Darwin Nunez put a pillow into a pillowcase.
I mean, for a team that hasn't got... Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, Solaris has just put in this. Virgil van Dijk's first home loss after 75 games, which it is. It's actually our first home loss as a team in 29 games. I think it was March 2019 or something since the last time we actually lost a game at home.
You know, you don't. Let's say FSG are not exactly, the most generous owners when it comes to money. However, we could make that argument if you didn't go and spend 80 million on the worst technical striker we've seen.
60 rising.
No, don't do
60 rising.
On one of the worst technically gifted strikers. Gifted, I can't even use gifted. One of the worst technical strikers we've seen at Liverpool. Ricky Lambert had more technique than Darwin Nunez.
He's a Dale legend.
He's also a massive conspiracy theorist now, isn't he?
I know. Do you want Andy Carroll? Josh, do you want Andy Carroll back?
Andy Carroll, more technique, 100%. Who else? I mean, the list just goes on.
But you know, it happens. You have players that do well elsewhere. I mean, this used to be our curse. So you'd have players that do well elsewhere, like you, Andy Carroll, and he'd come to us and just fall apart. Benteke was the other one. Did great well technique. At Villa. Good player. Come to Liverpool. Garbage. Absolutely.
I think these other leagues are just laughing at us. I think teams like Benfica. Who else is there? Sporting, Marseille. Some of these teams, they all get together and they go, right, which of your worst players can we flog off to one of the big six in the Premier League? They're like, Ndombele, 60 million? Yeah, let's go. Let's get Spurs to pay that. And they're like, Nunez, they're like, we've just had a bid from... I can imagine them all in a WhatsApp group chat. You'll never believe. Benfica's director's just like, you'll never believe who's bid 80 million for Darwin Nunez. They're like, no. United, like, no. Warmer.
Yeah, they've only got 20 quid. I know. But
I mean, we've signed the contract tonight.
I mean, I've been trying to piece it together for a while. I mean, I've been looking at. I spent a bit of time on FBref digging out some stats the other day to try and figure out what's going wrong, and it's really confusing because I mean, if you look statistically, we're not actually playing worse than last year. All of our defensive movements are the same. The passing, the pressures, that's all the same. XG wise, we're actually winning games on XG. But it's not telling the story, obviously. I mean, we're going to have more possession because the teams are going to give us more possession. But I think whereas before we had possession and we were just full on attack, full energy, high energy. The only thing I can think of is at the moment is like you said earlier, they're tired. I mean, we've always been a team which were really fast out to in. So you'd have the centre backs passing out to the full backs who would do bits up to the front three, and they would do it. They would almost bypass the central mid, because if you think about it, our central midfield has been Henderson, Wijnaldum, and Fabinho, who aren't all the most technically proficient players, but they were like engines and workhorses. Whereas obviously Wijnaldum's gone, and I think teams figured that out and started to try and play through the middle of us. And we're too tired, we're old, and I think we because teams are playing more in the centre again. So he brought in Thiago to try and make bits happen, so we're not just reliant on the fullback positions. And he's like 31, 32 now, Thiago, and it's unnerving, and I don't know what to do. I mean, we're 9th at the moment. And I think, like you said right at the start, Lucas, they're over-reliant on the fact that Klopp, and I want anyone to try and prove me wrong. For me, Jurgen Klopp in the last 10 years has probably been the best manager in the world. Up there with Ancelotti, I would say is them two. For me, I don't rate Pep, as I said last week. Give the man a challenge. If he has to do anything difficult in his life other than decide which suit to wear, then I'll give him consideration. But he's just overperformed consistently overperforming against our net spend that we've had, and against everything, all the odds, all the players' injuries that we've had out. He's overperformed, and I think FSG are relying on that and relying on him. And I think they're about to get kicked in the ass, because I think on our finances, if we don't finish in the Champions League position, because we run without any investment from the owners, we run pretty much self-sufficiently. We're going to be in a shitload of trouble when we miss out on that 140 odd. I think it was about 180 million pound of our 560 revenue last season came from the Champions League run.
You've also got no assets. You don't have a Coutinho or a Suarez. You've got no one that you can go, right, we can probably get 80 million for him. Like, there's no one in your team. Salah's just signed a new contract, and like, even is Salah going to fetch you? Like, none of these clubs are going to go for Mo Salah now. He's on the wrong side of 30, and that contract's too big.
Exactly. I mean, and I've said it before. I think, but I was always under the impression that we'd let Salah go, take a stand against his contract with demands, which I was happy with. Take a stand against it, let him go, let Bobby Firmino do what Firmino wanted to do, keep Mane. That's what I thought we were going to do.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Mane wanted to go, but even that one, I don't think if you still had Mane, I still think you'd be in the same situation, because he'd be suffering from the same thing. I don't think he is, he would help in certain games, but I don't think it'd be enough. You probably have an extra, 3, 4, 5 points max with Mane in the team for certain, but I just don't think it. I think you're right. You're tired. It looks like they're bored as well. It looks like they're just like, Klopp's run out of ideas. He doesn't know how to completely change it.
I mean, we played, I think it was something like we played 64, I want to say 64, 66 games last season. Man City played 58. That's a big difference, that is. And if you think about it, we had the COVID season, then we had that massive run with all the injuries. And this season, everybody's just injured, and we've not got time for anyone to recuperate and to come back. And they've all, I think, if not the oldest, the second oldest squad in the Premier League.
You also had the most players go to an international tournament, I think, in that year.
Yeah.
You had Copa America before, then Euros, then AFCON. I think everyone in your first team went to at least one of those.
Yeah, and I genuinely, I think they're tired. I just think they're absolutely knackered, and we need investment. I mean, for you, Shaw, what do you say before we move on? What do you think that Liverpool need in order not to be playing as bad as we are at the moment?
No, I think obviously, I do think Mane was obviously a big loss as well. That's one of the main ones. But as you were saying, I just think they're tired, the injuries and stuff. I just think they kind of need a little bit of a break, which is obviously difficult because there's so many games now cramped into this one season. You obviously got the World Cup as well, so it's a bit difficult. But yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know. It's just unusual. It's unusual to see them in this state because obviously they've been so up there and they've played so well in recent seasons.
Do you want to get your violins out?
I'm not going to be that mean today. All I'm saying is bring back Brendan Rodgers.
Oh, good God. You know what? If he hadn't managed you before, I'd say, Leicester are turning it around. Rodgers for Liverpool. Let's make it happen. Round 2.
God no. I mean, and Lucas, is that your answer? Is that what you would do if you were at Liverpool in a position of power?
I don't know. I think let's tank this year, and then you give Klopp until probably November the following season. But I mean, tank. When I say tank it, I mean when Chelsea finished. They finish 9th or was it 10th that year, and then they won the league the following season? Gus Hiddink, I think it was 10th. Yeah. You got to finish in the top 10 as Liverpool. You can't finish below the top 10, regardless of how.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we had one top 4 finish in 7 years before Klopp, and we finished in the top 4 pretty much every season since. 4th, 2nd, 1st, 3rd, 2nd.
You're allowed one. You're allowed one bad horrendous season, but you got to rectify it straight away, or major change.
I mean, I just invest. Please spend money. Please allow us to actually spend some money. But I mean, in the chat, we've got Rusty thinks it's the prescription for inhalers that ran out. Maybe, and that's that. That's a serious issue that people have. And so now, as you can see, Liverpool being okay after the players get a rest for the World Cup, and I think so because England will be out pretty quickly, so they'll have a lot of time. All the England players to recoup.
Also, none of your players are going to be starting at this rate.
Yeah, exactly. Torsine's enjoying the fact that Liverpool is struggling. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate that. And some very kind words from the sports capital in the chat. They've enjoyed the show. Thank you very much appreciated. And Nathan is here, and well, you missed the games, Nathan. I left Liverpool to last, hoping we would run out of time, but it wasn't possible. But when we were talking about sellable assets, Slavis reckons United, they buy big over 30s for big money. Would they buy from Liverpool? And
has that ever? When was the last time that happened? Paul Ince? Well, it wasn't direct, was it?
I think did he go into Milan after
that? He went abroad first, didn't he?
Yeah.
When was the last direct player? There you go. Pop quiz for the chat. Have Liverpool and United ever done direct business?
And I'm having a quick Google for it because I can't think.
We're probably missing like a really obvious one in like the last 10 years, aren't we?
Oh, the first thing that comes up is Michael Edwards could be going to Man United. Get stuffed, Man United. I don't know. I can't think. I know, like, because Michael Owen obviously went via Real Madrid and Newcastle, and I mean, in fairness, they've normally been better than us, so I can't see why they'd want to buy our players most of the time. But they can have like the Ox. He's an older player, and they could take the Ox or
the Ox will go back to Southampton. Let's be honest.
And I'll leave that one. That one's in there for you. For our audio listeners, I'm not going to read that out because I think I'm being rude. But it's sad. It's a sad situation. I think here we go. Solaris in the chat. He said Phil Chisnell, the last ever player directly from Man United to Liverpool in 1964. So
that's why it's the biggest rivalry when you look at it, because Sol Campbell, Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, and Arsenal. The countless players have gone from those two, and City and United, countless players have gone from those two as well. Was it Tevez? I think you had a few before that. So Liverpool and United do not do business.
No, we're not friends, but Liverpool, sad times, very sad. And talking of sad, obviously you will have noticed with us today is not Sam. Sam is not able to join us this evening. So in regards to our La Liga, I'm going to be, Sam very kindly sent me over. That's what he's actually sent me in the notes. It says La Liga. So, it's not just me being clever, and he's actually given me this. I could read it verbatim for you, word for word, and I'll give it a very good go. So he said he's handed the reins to Josh today, who is eager to cover La Liga. And, so he's got so Diego Simeone is sad after missing the 99th minute penalty, which knocked Atletico Madrid out of the Champions League. I don't think he missed it personally. Atletico missed the penalty. They went and lost 3-2 to second from bottom Cadiz, with a late winner from Ruben Sobrino after Atletico had pulled it back from 2-2 down. Never mind, Diego. Always look on the bright side of life. That's nice. And incidentally, in that game as well, Antoine Griezmann became La Liga's third highest ever goal scorer in his second run at the club.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Antoine Griezmann.
La Liga or Atletico Madrid?
Atletico Madrid, not La Liga.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, yeah. There's no way.
No, not La Liga.
What?
Goodness
he's Atletico Madrid's third highest goal scorer. Okay.
He is, which considering they've had Sergio Aguero, Fernando Torres, Diego Forlan, some Costa, some good companies in there. Real Madrid saw their lead cut to a single point as a 1-1 draw to lowly Girona was punished by Barca, who picked up a 1-0 win at Valencia thanks to a late He's put lots of lates in. Goal from Robert Lewandowski. I think it was like the 95th minute, was it? 93rd. So the 93rd minute, which isn't really that late, but he said late. And Madrid's lecture was not so positive as they had a Rodrigo goal disallowed in injury time, which was clearly wrong contact selected from Gilberto's twisted list. And then a sending off for the first time in his career for Tony Cruz. First time ever, and he's got it here. Back to the dressing room and first in the lose for Mr. Cruz. Elsewhere, the retirement village of Sevilla went down to Rayo Vallecano, leaving them dangling just above the relegation zone before 18th place Getafe and bottom place Elche play this evening. And finally, Atletico Bilbao played Villarreal in a 1-0 win for Bilbao, with Inkai Williams scoring the only goal. And a man with a remarkable record, he has now played in 245 La Liga games consecutively without missing a match. So that's 6 seasons Inkai Williams has played consecutively for Atletico Bilbao. And he's put here, that's utterly redonkulous. And he wishes us all a very pleasant evening. And and in the chat, Solaris is checking in Barca. That's another team. Will pay 80 million for Liverpool over 30s. They do. But when Barca play big money, they Lewandowski, and he's quite good, really.
They also haven't got any money, so they can only pay for free agents.
It doesn't matter. Barcelona find it.
Another lever.
They just find the money, but you can see it's quite tight at the top, but then there's that big gap, which makes the Liga fairly boring at the moment. Unfortunately,
I need Real Madrid to deal with this. I cannot have Barcelona winning the league. That's the only save for them. They came into the Europa League. I have a bone to pick with Barcelona. I do not like them.
That is true. And while we're on Barcelona, we will quickly brush upon that then, because they get knocked out with 1 game still to go. They are knocked at the Europa League. I'm not sure if you saw, but Laporta gave Xavi a vote of confidence for getting down, and the fans were chanting Messi, 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 Messi. And I saw headlines that linking Messi back to Barcelona. Charlotte, would you think that would be a good idea for Barcelona?
To be honest, I don't think anything's good for Barcelona at the minute, because obviously they're buying players. They've got no money. So we probably will go back knowing Barcelona. Somehow they'd probably manage it. But yeah, they just really confused me, Barcelona. I just don't know what's actually going on with them.
It's good times. And Lucas is a man whose team is in the Europa League. Are you looking forward to playing
we'll
Barcelona?
See them Thursday night. Revenge. Bring it on. Final. Revenge for 06.
Oh, was that the one where was it the keeper got sent off, Lehman, in the final?
We don't need to go into the specific details of that horrific event.
That was a fabulous. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
You did.
I did. And Nathan's fairy return for Messi. I hope not. I just don't like the man very much. But takes us on to a league which isn't boring. That was very exciting actually this weekend. The Bundesliga, which, if you shall notice, my new favorite team, Union Berlin, are still number one. Still number one at the top of the league there. And they very, very nearly didn't do it. They were 1-0 down from the 33rd minute, right up until the 79th minute, when they managed to get an equaliser. Not content with an equaliser in the 79th minute, they scored a winner in the, get this, 97th minute. The 97th minute, Union Berlin picked up a goal. Their manager was absolutely overwhelmed. He was saying after the game, he just can't believe what he's seeing there as the fairy tale continues. But hot on their heels. And Nathan in the chat, he's let's go Union Berlin. I know they've become my new favorite team, but hot on their heels is obviously Bayern Munich, only 1 point behind, with a 6-2 victory over Mainz. And players that's getting a lot of plaudits for Bayern Munich, someone who's rated key and fundamental in their turnaround in form, is Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting, which I just find outstanding. I think the guy's 33, and did nothing at PSG, and then was at Stoke. And now, yeah, he's tearing it up in the Bundesliga. I think he scored 9 goals all season last season. I believe he's on 7 at the moment. And I think he scored like 5 in the last 6 games. So he is on fire. And they reckon he's become a focal point of Bayern's attack, proving to the team that they need to have a big strike up the front. So keep your eyes open, Harry Kane. He could be on his way over to Bayern Munich. And the next game, which was the next game? Oh, yeah, Dortmund. We think we're the only ones with VAR issues. Dortmund were thoroughly outraged. Well, they weren't. It was Eintracht Frankfurt outraged after Karim Adeyemi shoved over an Eintracht Frankfurt player, and there was no penalty given. And all the fans were outraged. They're calling for VAR to go away. But it's not just us. VAR is crap everywhere. However, the officials did come out fighting and sort of said, where would you rather be? Because at least we get offsides and goal lines right. So it swings and roundabouts. It does swings and roundabouts. My dear friend Xavi Alonso lost 2-0 to Leverkusen, to Leipzig at Leverkusen, which was very, very sad. But as you can see in the chat, Russi's bringing up what's happened to Schalke. And Schalke lost 2-0 to Freiburg, who are third at the moment. Freiburg flying high, actually 2 points ahead of Dortmund in third position. Now Schalke have appointed a new manager, and they've taken Bochum's manager. I'm not sure if you can notice on the table. Bochum in 17th position. So what they've done is
these football clubs.
They've got Bochum. You're marginally better than we are. Let's have your manager. And the Bochum manager was that keen to leave. He actually paid £490,000 of his own money to leave Bochum for his release fee to go and manage Schalke at the bottom of the Bundesliga. Just words escape me. I don't know what's going on. But as you can see, the gap here, 26, 25, 24, 22, 20, 19, 18, 18. Between 9th and the top, it is so tight. 8 points between 9th and the top, which for people who are not very good at maths, that's like 2 wins and 2 draws. Tight as a tiger, and makes the Bundesliga for me one of the more exciting leagues. But one of the leagues that makes me the happiest, which I'm hoping you prep for, because I forgot to ask you to, is
always.
Serie A.
I'm actually just watching this league because it comes on it's on the same channel and BT Sport as the Premier League on the weekend. So in the gaps between the Premier League games, I just put it on. So I watched the Napoli game the first half an hour when they were 3-0 up. So I was like, well, that's the end of that game. But yeah, the most exciting league in Europe at the moment is Serie A. It continues the Napoli story. So they haven't won the league since 1989, when Maradona was the top goal scorer in the league.
Bloody hell.
That's the last time they won it, which is insane. Which when you think about it, I was like, yeah, I don't remember them winning it in the 2000s. But they're looking very good. Victor Osimhen with his first ever hat-trick in Serie A, actually. He looks very good. I know he's been linked with United. A lot of United fans have mixed feelings about Victor Osimhen. I know there's a few in the chat. But I think someone should take a punt on him. United or Chelsea, I think, will take a punt on him in the summer and bring him to the league. It's just the price is a bit hefty. Yep, Special K. Oh, they said it as well when I was watching the highlights. His name, and
is it Kashvilla or something, isn't it?
Kvetschkila. Special K.
I tagged you in the Tifo video as well, where he said it like
7
a million
minutes.
times.
I was like, at least give me the time code. I'm a busy man. And Milan dropped points in the title race to Torino, which was there were some weird stats going on. So Torino haven't scored a goal against Milan in 500 minutes of football, and they scored 2 to win 2-1. So Milan dropping points there. I know there's been historically some, how do I put this gently, issues with legitimacy in officiating in Serie A in terms of, contrary to popular belief, some big teams have obviously been relegated and points dropped. But yeah, go and watch Torino's second goal against Milan and just have a look. Let's just say Milan's manager got sent off afterwards because of how bad it was. But yeah, it was one of the weirdest things I've seen. Inter with another routine victory. Again, another player, Nicola Barella, another player. Some of these players really need to be signed by. I'd love to see him in the Premier League. He's quality. He won't be coming to you. Don't even think about it.
What do you mean? Did you see what he said about Lukaku? Did you hear about that?
Barella.
Yeah. Did you hear that story? So after he scored, Lukaku was on the bench, and obviously Lukaku not famed for his first touch. So Barella scored with his first touch, ran up to the bench and shouted at Lukaku, "That's how you do a first touch."
Oh my god! I love that. I love that. Someone's science is going to be laughing, but I've got a feeling if it is a Prem team, it's going to be Chelsea, isn't it? And then Lazio with one for a big throwback. Remember Candreva? Who remembers Candreva with a great chip shot, a FIFA-esque chip shot. It was brilliant. The goals were really good this weekend. I definitely recommend go watching them on YouTube. They're only like 2-3 minute clips, but they're very good. And then Juventus pick up their third win in a row in the league. Definitely not in the Champions League, beating Lecce. And a 1-0. They were pretty good. They had a few chances, but they just can't seem to score at the moment, Juventus. But they played a lot better. But this is my fear with a team of Juventus. Juventus Atletico Madrid dropping into the Europa League is that they are going to figure it out. And probably the Champions League was an unnecessary distraction for them when they need to get their form back together in the league. So yeah, 3 wins on the bounce for Juventus, and they're moving up. Roma hadn't played over the weekend. But yeah, all in all, a pretty interesting weekend with obviously Napoli, their 13th win, and Milan dropping points. But everyone else is still on track. But I mean, just look at that table. It's like anyone could win it. First top 8 are in the title race.
They're big names, all of them. I mean, Napoli, Atalanta, Milan, Lazio, Inter, Roma, Juventus, Udinese. They're all names as well that you'd expect to be competing. But see, it's not that bad, being an 8th and 9th. That's all right. Just don't knock it till you try it. And Ligue 1, PSG is still top. They're still winning games. They almost didn't win. If you class, an 88th minute goal to make it 4-3, and almost, but. I mean, Nathan's saying in the chat they're very technical league Serie A. He might enjoy it as well. But I mean, PSG. I mean, they've got on the score sheet Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. I mean,
yeah, every bloody week. Wait, what happened to Marseille? Whoa, what's going on here? They won their second last time I was on the podcast. What the hell has gone on? What have you done to my team?
just losing. They lost to Lens, who was second place at the moment.
2 in a row and drawn.
The week before, they lost to PSG, then they lost to Lens, and then they drew with Strasbourg. So yeah, I mean, Lens though they're still doing beats. Lens beat Toulouse 3-0. So I mean, as much as you can put pressure on PSG, they are, but. Let's be fair.
Yeah, they're going to win it again. Those are the 2 teams I think Klopp should go to next if things happen. Is Marseille or Lyon? I think would be a very good fit. Good jobs there, especially Lyon. Lyon are in dire need of rebuild, and they got probably the best academy in the country.
I want something nice for him. I mean, after he's worked his nuts off the last couple of seasons up. I want him to have a nice job, like a PSG, a really easy job.
What with Neymar, with Mbappe coming in and saying, "Right, I'm running the team talk today, Klopp." Doesn't sound very easy.
Even if you drop Mbappe, that's. I mean, what's an easy job? I don't know, like Man City or Bayern Munich.
Well, he does that on Football Manager every bloody season, doesn't he? Straight swap.
Exactly, those easy jobs that Pep goes for because he only likes an easy life. But I mean, I think that's the French league. Nah. And when something interesting happens, we will bring it to you when something interesting happens in those leagues. But Scoops in the chat, Scoops, he thinks Scott should have a nice little job like Rochdale, perhaps. And speaking of Rochdale, Shah, why don't you tell us what's going on in the lower leagues?
Yes, I will start with the Championship, and QPR have been knocked off the top spot, so we have got a new leader.
Oh, please be Norwich.
It is one we are familiar with. Do you want to guess, guys?
Is it Watford?
It's not Norwich. They were too far down, weren't they?
Who else is there that I really can't stand? Is it a team I can't stand? It's not
Blackburn.
Huddersfield.
Blackburn are actually second, but the top at the minute are actually Burnley. Vincent Kompany's Burnley, yeah.
Oh, to be fair, I don't mind them too much with Kompany there.
Oh, dirty Burnley, according to the
They're not a yo-yo team because they've managed to survive in the Premier League for so long.
Yeah, and they've not got Sean Dyche as well now.
Yeah,
Vincent
they're
Kompany,
playing good
haven't they?
football, apparently.
They are, honestly, they're playing really well. So they're back at the top after beating Reading 2-1. And Blackburn are still in second place. They beat Hull 1-0. In third place, we've got QPR. It is really close, the championship. We've got QPR. I know, it lost. They actually lost to Birmingham. Birmingham have not been on a bad run recently. They were struggling at the start, but they've kind of put a run of good form together. Sheffield United beat bottom of the league West Brom. West Brom are rock bottom. Imagine West Brom in League One, the size of their ground and everything. Imagine them in League One.
That's bad.
It's
Have they
mental,
got a new
isn't
manager
it?
now? They've got their new manager, haven't they? Carlos Corberan, or I believe that's it.
Yeah. They got beat 2-0. Norwich beat Stoke 3-1, so they're still in the playoffs, so they've got a chance of still coming back up.
Please, no.
And the last playoff space is actually Swansea as well. They drew 1-1 with Bristol City.
I don't care, Swansea or Cardiff. I want them all.
In relegation, we've got no change. Still the same teams, but in a different position. Bottom of the league, obviously West Brom, as I mentioned, they got beat at home to Sheffield United. Above them, we've got Huddersfield, who actually won and beat Millwall 1-0. And Coventry have turned it around a little bit. They did lose 2-1 at home to Blackpool this week, but they've put a bit of a run together and they are coming close to getting out of it. League One. So top spot again is still Plymouth, and they actually play Exeter tonight, and it's currently 1-1 at half time. I'm going to give Sam a special mention now as well, because Ipswich versus Charlton, it was actually a double desi. It was a 4-4 draw, so I couldn't mention it without giving Sam obviously a mention for that. So yes, seemed like a really good game, a lot of goals. So Ipswich are actually second still. In the playoffs, still no change. Sheff Wednesday, they've got third spot. They beat bottom of the league Burton 4-2. Peterborough won at home to Cambridge with just a 1-0. Portsmouth drew 1-1 to Shrewsbury. And even though Bolton did lose at home 3-1 to Oxford, they still remain in that last playoff spot. And likewise, relegation, still the same teams, but obviously they've had a bit of a reshuffle. MK Dons are 21st. Sorry about that. I had to have a count. MK Dons are 21st. They drew 0-0 away at Cheltenham. A good point for them. Forest Green. I'm actually really happy about this because I don't like Forest Green. They lost 2-0 to Barnsley. I'm a bit bitter. They took Corey O'Keefe off us, so yeah, I'm really bitter. It was one of them loan signings I fell in love with. When they say never fall in love with a loan signing, so yeah, I'm still bitter about that. Still playing heartbreak hits over him. And Markham drew 1-1 at Wickham. And as I mentioned before, Burton are bottom of the league because they lost to Sheff Wednesday. And that result obviously took them bottom. Top three in League Two, still no change. Leyton Orient beat Salford 1-0. I'm buzzing about that as well because I can't stand Salford, as you all know.
Go on, Leyton Orient.
Way. Second place, Stevenage drew 1-1 to bottom of the league, Colchester. It was a great point for Colchester, not for Rochdale, because they're coming up a bit now on us. Not good. Third place, Northampton drew 1-1 at home to Newport, Josh. Playoffs, lots of goals there, actually. Swindon beat Mansfield 5-2, so obviously 7 goals there. Quite a good game. Barrow are back on a good run again as they beat Crewe 3-0. They were going through a bit of a bad patch. Even we beat Barrow. Embarrassing for them. Embarrassing for Barrow. Even we beat them. I know. Mark Hughes is Bradford, drew 1-1 at home to Crawley. I know.
Say that again. Who's
Mark
bad?
Hughes, you know.
Mark Hughes is Bradford.
Oh dear.
Yeah, drew 1-1 at home to Crawley. Carlisle beat Tranmere 2-0 away from home, which is a good result for them. In relegation, it was a great result for Hartlepool. They are now 23rd. They beat Grimsby 2-1, and Colchester are bottom of the league after their draw against Stevenage. Dale are close to the bottom again. We lost 1-0 to Walsall. To be fair to us, we did deserve something out of it. I'm not saying we deserve to win, but we did deserve at least a point. But our defence, again, soft goal, nightmare. So Colchester are only a point behind us and Hartlepool. Hartlepool have the same points, but we have the better goal difference. Sad times.
There's still hope.
Still hope.
Still
Where
hope.
are you in the league?
We are 22nd. But Lucas, I met Jim Bentley and had a picture with him.
I saw that, yeah.
And he's not related to David.
Did you ask him how's the son? How's the son David doing?
I made sure I got my picture first. But
Then asked him after.
yeah.
See, I've got to put to bed this rumor. So is there 24 teams in your league?
Yeah, 24 teams, 2 of them go down.
Oh, so you are dicing with death right there then
Yeah.
at the moment.
We actually got a player called Quigley on loan from Stockport, and he was scoring goals, but he got injured, unfortunately, in a Papa John's trophy. And obviously, the games we've had without Quigley, we've struggled a little bit, but I'm hoping he's due back in the next couple of games. So I'm hopefully then we can kind of get back to our good run, because we've not been the worst thing is we've not been playing bad, and under Jim Bentley he's kind of steadied the ship. He's only managed to sign obviously Quigley. The rest isn't any of his team, but he seems to be doing wonders with them all. So hopefully I think January will be make or break for us. We need midfielders. That's where we're lacking the most. But yeah, we're doing better. We are doing better. I am still positive. I am still hopeful. So, yeah, up the Dale.
Good. And in the chat, we've got our friend Sam, Mr. Ducks. He's sending his love. He's probably back half cut after an evening out. And he's enjoying Cubs back and thinks it's very home and away. It makes him feel closer each day. And you missed it. I did a sterling job of your league review. I did a wonderful job. Everybody said it was so good that maybe each week you should write it and I should read it. That's how we should do. But no, but thanks for dropping in, mate. We miss you. We miss you, of course we do. But this moves us on now to the interesting part, the part that we all sort of suck at, really. Let's call, a spoon a spoon. The prediction league. Now, there's been 4 podcasts so far. We've looked at 4 games a podcast, which 4 times 4 is what? That's 16, is it? Is it 16?
Yeah,
4 times
16.
4. Woo! Quick maths. Well done. That's what the GCSEs were well worth it. So 16. The highest point tally is 7. So that's
I'm confused as to the calculations of these.
Well, incident, I haven't added on anything. I can't remember what you had, Lucas, because Lucas was a very naughty boy and didn't give me his results that he predicted on time. But I think, was it 1 or 2? You did get 1 or 2 points, I believe. I can't quite remember, but I'll add it on. Was it? Can you remember which one you had? One of them
who
right?
gets the most points that weekend gets a tally.
Oh no! You get a point tally for every game. A point for every game, mate.
Oh, is this just for the game week? This is just for the game week. I was like, okay.
No, this is everything. Out of 16 points, we've done
There's no way.
We've done crap.
I thought I got 3 alone last week.
Yeah, well, I haven't.
I had Liverpool, so yeah, of course.
Well, I haven't added on those ones yet, but yeah. So we don't ever take our predictions to the bank or to the bookies with you, because that would be very foolish. But last week, it wasn't awful last week. So last week at Palace Southampton, I think Sam and I had Palace. Charlotte went for Southampton, and she got that one wrong. I think none of us got the Everton Fulham game. We all went for Fulham, and they didn't. Although I think, did you call a draw on this one, Lucas?
No, I went for Fulham.
No, so you got that one wrong as well. And oh my God, Leeds Liverpool. We all went with our brains and went with Liverpool, and that was a mistake. And Newcastle Villa, I think we all went for Newcastle and got that one. Was Newcastle your team, Lucas, as well? They were, weren't they? So he has 4 at least. And then Brentford, we gave Sam a special game because he missed one. And it was Brentford Wolves. He went for Brentford, and it was Brentford. And look at this. I'm getting bullied. Look at this. I'm getting bullied in the chat here because Nathan did predict that Leeds would beat Liverpool, but I just think that was just mocking me. But it did. It happened. So that at the moment, so that leaves me on. Well, Lucas would be on 4. He'd have 4 points. Then Shah with 5. Sam on 6. I'm leading the way with 7. Oh my God, that is shameful. We should all be really ashamed of ourselves. But that takes us on to this week's games. This week's prediction games are, I'll be honest with you, horrible games to try and predict. So the first game we're going to look at, and I've got Sam's predictions already. So the first game we're going to try and predict is Nottingham Forest. This is Brentford. And Lucas, out of that, Forest at home. Forest Brentford. Which way are you going?
Brentford.
Same as young Samuel and Samuel. Charlotte. Which way are you going, Charlotte?
I'm going to go Brentford as well.
Brentford. And incidentally, I'm writing these down as we go along because each week I try and go back to these, and it's really hard because I forget what everybody has said. And I'm probably going to go. I'm going to go for a draw because I think Forest are really, really good. The next game we're going to look at for our prediction league is Everton versus Leicester. Lucas, Everton or Leicester? Both teams coming into a good stream of form at the moment.
Draw.
Oh, it's a draw. And yourself, Charlotte?
This is a hard one. I'm going to go with Everton.
Not backing Rodgers.
I'm not backing Rodgers, no.
She's been backing him for the sack for like half a year now, I think. I don't think the season started and she had him down to be tanked out. I think Sam's gone for a draw. I want to say Everton, but I can't because I just can't. I just can't bring myself to do it. So I'm going to go for Leicester. Just to be contrary because nobody else has. And I don't want Everton to win any game ever. The next game we're going to look at is West Ham and Crystal Palace. Lucas, that's West Ham or Crystal Palace?
Draw.
He's going for the draw. And Charlotte, which way are you laying your money?
West Ham at home.
West Ham are indeed.
I'm gonna go West Ham.
She's gonna go up the Hammers.
Craig Dawson's back. Dale legend.
I was trying to think, where does that come from? Craig Dawson.
Dale legend is gonna score a bullet header.
Into the opposition's net. That's
no.
And I like Crystal Palace. I got to be honest with you. So I'm going to go for a Palace away victory. As I do, I like Patrick Vieira as a manager. He would be very scary, I think. And Sam has also gone for the Hammers. So the last game, another toughie. Leeds versus Bournemouth.
Oh.
So Lucas, Leeds at home versus Bournemouth.
Leeds.
Oh, it's just straight in there. You know, there's no hesitation from me this evening. I'm very impressed. And Shah, which way are you going?
I'm going to go for a draw.
Go for a draw. I mean, I think it's got to be Leeds. I mean, what a team. What a team. They are just fantastic. Just full of quality players right up and down the pitch. There's going to be nothing but a victory for Leeds because they're really, really good. But that concludes this evening's podcast. I hope you've all thoroughly enjoyed yourselves. As ever, massive thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us. Before we go, we've got Nathan's making his predictions. He's going for a Brentford victory, a draw for Everton and Leicester, West Ham win, and a Leeds. Yeah, he's with me. He's with Leeds because Leeds are really, really good. Really, really good. No shame in losing to Leeds for any team anywhere in the Premier League. But thank you for joining us, as always, for everybody on YouTube and Twitch. Your interaction and you guys being here really makes a difference, and it makes it very enjoyable for us. Everyone listening on Spotify and all the other bits and pieces. Muchas gracias. Don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and to show us lots and lots of love, and follow us on Twitter at Absolute Ball Pod, and on Instagram, the Absolute Ball Podcast _ and just everywhere. Just look for us everywhere. And Lucas, where can people find you? Where are you?
Crab Dribble on Twitch, Crab Dribble _ on Twitter, and yeah, but mainly Twitch. Yeah, sometimes Twitter. Look out for my player slander on Twitter and get your betting account ready, because they're probably likely to score.
That is spot on. And Charlotte, where can everybody find you this fine day?
I am most active on Twitter, but I am on Instagram. I've started doing TikToks as well, and I'm on YouTube as SharXREFC. And if anybody wants to follow my Rochdale Her Game 2 account, which is some really, really cool stuff coming out soon, it's Rochdale HGT on Instagram, TikTok, and on Twitter.
Fantastic. And of course, I am FMFO official, just everywhere you look. You lift up a stone, you're trying to find your spare key underneath your doormat. There I am, FMFO official. And a massive thank you to everybody that's joining us. Peace and love to you all. Thursday, 8 p.m. It's going to be our light bite. It's possibly between two of us. There's going to be two of us there. Who is it going to be? Keep your eyes peeled. That's why you should follow one of our socials, because that's how you were going to find out, because I haven't decided yet. But keep a look out there, YouTube and Twitch, 8 p.m. And on Monday again next week, we're going to be here. Hopefully you will all be here. Thank you very much for joining us, and we shall catch you next time.